Joining us on Submission Radio, it was Tough 8 winner and one of the top contenders in the UFC light heavyweight division, a one-time Submission of the Night winner. He will be fighting Rashad Evans at UFC 192. It's a pleasure to welcome back Ryan Darth Bader to Submission Radio. Ryan, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, guys. How's it going?
Good. Yeah, it's always great having you on. I feel like it's been too long now. The last time you were on the show, you told us a story about how your dune buggy caught on fire and blew up. Legend has it that the fire from the explosion could be seen from outer space. You can actually see the video with some footage on the YouTube channel. Any more near-death experiences or experiences involving spontaneously combusting vehicles recently?
No, been pretty lackluster, actually. Pretty safe, so not much to report back.
Oh my God! Come on, Ryan. We expect more from you, but that's okay. You got a big fight. You've got a big fight coming up, so I guess it's understandable. I guess we'll give you a pass for this one.
I gotta tone it down a little bit.
You've got an excuse for staying safe.
Yes, sir.
Now, Ryan, if we were betting men, we'd put down some coin on you having the title shot after the run-in you had with Daniel Cormier at the post-fight press conference. You were passed over, however, for Alexander Gustafsson. It's old news now, but we never did get to ask you. What was your reaction when you found out?
I was surprised, pretty much. He was coming off a loss, not even a loss, a knockout loss to the guy that just lost for the championship, in Anthony Johnson. So, I was surprised to say the least. So there's nothing really I could do. I pleaded my case, and then going forward, it was like, okay, well, he has it, so who's next? And we got offered Rashad, which, if we didn't get that title shot with Cormier, that was probably the next best fight, I'd guess, because, Gustafsson's tied up. He's got the title shot. Rashad has been champion before. He's top 5, and so, he's one of those guys also that I would like to fight before, he's done or whatnot. So, made perfect sense other than getting the title shot. So not want to sit there and cry about it or anything like that. So move on. Got a good fight in front of us. I'm excited about this one. I'm looking to go out there and leave no doubt in anybody's mind that I'm next in line.
Well, that's exactly right. And I mean, we can hear the disappointment in your voice when you talk about that Gustafsson, getting the title shot. So sorry for bringing it up. I just got to ask you though, does it make you question what is the point of having rankings? If a guy coming for brutal loss, like you mentioned, is getting a title shot, and did you speak with Dana White or the UFC about it?
Yeah, I kind of knew that going in, and how things have been going as far as the rankings. They don't really mean too much. You can have the last 2 guys in 205-pound divisions are coming off a loss, getting a title shot. I did pick up the phone and call Dana, and just asked him, and like I said, pleaded my case, gave him, what I thought, and told him, if there's any reservations about, fighting style or anything, I'm going to go out there to try to take that belt and try to finish the guy in front of me, and all that kind of stuff, and just said they were going with Gustafsson, and that if I get through Rashad, nobody can really deny me not getting the title shot. So that's where it stood, and I tried to have them reconsider, but their mind was pretty much set on that. So just moving forward, it's Rashad. That's it. Past the past. I'll catch up with those guys later. Hopefully after this fight.
Yeah, certainly. And just wondering, Ryan, in that conversation with Dana, did he say that after your next fight with Rashad, you would be getting the title shot next, or was he still not very committal on when you'd be able to get your title shot next?
It was more of along the lines of, nobody can kind of deny that you deserve it. So, nowadays there really is no guaranteed title shot. You have the guaranteed title shot next. There's none of that. Somebody can get hurt or whatnot when they have the matchup ready to go, and if something happens to the other guy, you never know. So it's all about, it's real cliche and everything, but it's all about the one in front of you. You just keep knocking them down sooner or later. You'll get your shot. So, my plan is to go out there, make it 5 in a row, but not only make it 5 in a row, make a statement, put away a guy like Rashad, who's been a champion, that's, one of the best guys in the world, top 5 right now. So that's my plan.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, you said it perfectly. We just had Johnny Hendricks on before, and I mean, speaking of guys who you think would get a title shot and then not getting him, just want to quote something. Anthony Johnson was in a recent interview, and he said while he believes you deserve a title shot, he also thinks your style isn't entertaining. And he said, and I quote, he has to go out and start knocking people out instead of just sitting here, instead of sitting there and waiting and side to side and throwing jabs. Whatever he does, that's not entertaining people. Bader doesn't talk much, and when he fights, it's not that entertaining. What do you think about those comments?
Well, first off, I'm out there using what I'm better than the other people at. I'm going to a lot of times go to my bread and butter, which is wrestling or whatnot. And some of the comments, I do agree. I got to open up more. I got to go out there and, go take it. And that's what I'm definitely starting to realize more and more, that it doesn't matter how many wins in a row you rack up or whatnot. You got to go out there and start finishing people. And, I know that. It's a double-edged sword here. And, you're fighting the best guys in the world. All these guys in the top 10. My last, 3 fights were over top 10 guys. My last one was a top 5 guy, So I'm not fighting bums out there. So, it's you want to win, but you want to do it impressively. And so maybe I got to switch it up a little bit with Rashad and just get after him, try to go take it and take that fight to him, from bell to bell. So, that's my plan. And, I got to go, like I said, I got to go put it in their minds that I deserve the shot after I go out there and beat Rashad.
Yeah, Ryan. I mean, it's interesting. Just going back to that conversation that you had with Dana White, did he mention anything about your style? Did he say that he wants you to be more exciting? And do you feel any pressure to switch things up going more into this fight? You just mentioned it, that you will look a bit different against Rashad, and it looks like you will be taking some more risks. But is that something that started with your conversation with Dana, or is it something that started with some of the fan stuff?
He didn't address any of that or anything like that. It's me knowing that at the same time too, but you go back to, I'm fighting the best guys in the world, every time out there, and from little kids, we were taught in wrestling to go out there and at all costs, you got to win. And that's been instilled for me since I was, 5 years old, so I still keep that mentality, with me. Like I said, at the same time, I know the guys out there that are knocking people out, spitting people, those are the type of guys that want to get those title shots, and I just got to go out there and prove that I can do that. I've done it in the past, and I'll do it again.
Well, here's the thing. Considering that you're on the same card as the title fight between Cormier and Johnson, with a win, Cormier and Gustafsson, with a win, do you see yourself challenging the winner for the shot, possibly in cage, or cutting some kind of promo after the fight, that you do want the winner?
Yeah, absolutely. I go out there and look impressive. There's nobody else that deserves it. So definitely that's that's something I would do. And we don't know who's winning that Cormier and Gustafsson fight. That's where they're fighting too. So, everybody's been asking me like it's a foregone conclusion, like Cormier is going to run through Gustafsson and hopefully I can get my shot. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I have my little beef with Cormier and I want to fight him, but at the end of the day, my goal is the belt. And so I'm happy to fight whoever wins, that fight after us at UFC 192.
It's interesting because this whole thing stemmed from a post-fight press conference that you were at, possibly eating delicious burgers that provide to fighters after the fight. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to play out, but if Cormier does win and you do beat Rashad, you guys will be on the same post-fight press conference together on stage. Has that kind of thought, I know it's sort of jumping ahead, but has that thought crossed your mind? Because that's going to be interesting all in itself, just seeing you guys up there together.
Yeah, no, I haven't really thought about that, like going back, like I was saying, I left that in the past. Rashad is the guy right now. I'll start thinking about that after I beat Rashad. But right now, I got a tough task ahead of me in Rashad, and that's who I'm thinking about, who I'm putting my energy into. I'm not putting my energy into any of that, into Cormier or anybody else. I got to go out there and win this fight first, and then I can start thinking about that. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting if we're both there. So we'll see what happens.
You and Rashad, you guys have been beefing over Twitter a bit recently. It started very randomly when you put up a video of you, CB Dollaway, and some other people training at your gym, Power MMA and Fitness. Rashad Evans commented, I believe originally on Instagram and then on Twitter, "This won't help you stop wasting your time." What was your original reaction? And were you surprised that he was, digging deep and hitting you up on Instagram?
Yeah, maybe that's just a little insecurity there. If you check on my Instagram and got a little insecure when he saw me running and training hard, and he proceeded to try to troll me on Twitter and Instagram. I didn't even see his Instagram until later. Somebody told me about something he was tweeting me, and they're on UFC Tonight or something. So him and his little buddy DC MMA and have the little bromance going on, and they're on the UFC Tonight desk or whatever they're doing their analyst stuff and talking about me. So those two can't get my name out of their mouth. So take it as a compliment. But yeah, it was kind of out of nowhere. It just kind of gives me the impression that he's nervous and checking up on me. So whatever it is, he's trying to get at me with some dumb tweets, but whatever. Him and his boy, Cormier. And like I said, if you see the pictures of Rashad recently, he looks like DC. So he's got to worry about himself in camp and worry about getting down to weight first.
Yeah, certainly. It's interesting that you said that. I mean, they were pretty much doing analyst work together at the time. It's funny how it was It's funny how it was DC and Rashad Evans together, both guys who you've had a bit of beef with. Cormier replied to one of the pictures that you responded to, saying that Rashad was looking a bit chunky like DC. He said, "Really, Betty, you may want to lay off me. You have big issues to worry about. I guess we will never fight now." Is it safe to say, I mean, you've already mentioned it, but is it safe to say that DC and Rashad Evans are at the top of your hit list at 205?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Both those two, and DC had commented on my Instagram, too, when I went back and read it, him and Rashad. Like I said, it's flattering they take the time to get on my Instagram, watch my video, and then make a comment, and so I just laugh at it. They're sitting there giggling, let's tweet it or ha ha ha, and doing that whole thing. So, I'm going to show up that shape of my life, with the most skills I've ever had, looking to take Rashad out on that fight night, and I just believe we're at different times in our careers. I'm this close to having my goal, get a title shot, win that belt. He's been there, done that, and he's at the tail end of his career, maybe looking for a couple more paychecks before he, officially retires and does his analyst work with DC and all that. So I just feel like we're in totally different times. I want it more. I'm more hungry.
It's an interesting theory. He's got his tag team, him and DC. If this is pro wrestling, CB Dollaway will be coming out with a steel chair and running in, and you guys would be the opposing tag team. I just want to sort of explore those comments. You mentioned about how he may be sort of looking to move on. The last few years have not been as smooth for Rashad as before, with injuries and losses. You guys have also shared many of the same opponents in the past. John Jones, Lito Machida, Tito Ortiz, Rampage, Phil Davis, to name a few. Rashad's last loss was actually to Little Nog, a guy you beat at UFC 119, and at 35 years of age. Do you think Rashad is slowing down a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody does at that point, and then coming off 2 ACL surgeries back to back, and try to rehabilitate. And then not only that, get your body back into the mode of, training the whole time. Honestly, I'm surprised if he shows up. And, because your body, if you're not training for 2 years, your body isn't used to the rigors of a training camp, and what you have to put it through to be in that peak physical condition. You can skate by and do just enough, and show up to the fight pretty much unprepared, but you made it. So we'll see how that happens. 2 ACL surgeries in a row is no joke. So especially at his age. So that coupled with the whole deal of ring rust and like I said, we're at 2 different points right now. I'm right there, and I want it. I haven't had my shot yet. So that's I have a one-track mind to get that.
Yeah, and one of the tweets that Rashad sent to you during the Twitter beef was saying that he thinks the fight is a foregone conclusion and he wants Dana White to send him his money already. Do you think he might be overlooking you a bit in this fight?
Yeah, I think so. He said on the easy fight and all that kind of stuff too, I love it. I love when people overlook me, underestimate me. He's going to be in for a rude awakening, and he's going to realize that I'm not the same fighter he watched even a fight ago. So that's what I look to do. I look to surprise him and everybody else, all the fans, the UFC, and like I was saying earlier, earn that shot and have there be no doubt in anybody's mind that I'm next in line.
I mean, obviously, you're not going to give us your game plan, but let's talk about the matchup itself. You guys are somewhat similar in styles. You're both wrestlers with boxing and you have knockout power. What are the keys to victory against Rashad? What do you think, you can take advantage of to beat him? And given his past injuries with his knees and his legs, he had a lot of knee issues. Is that something you're going to exploit in the fight?
No, I'm not going to actively target, somebody's injury or whatnot, but he's quick. He moves well. He sets up his takedowns pretty well. So do I, and I feel like I can land some shots on him, and he'll realize that 2 years off and not being in that cage, and I've been fighting and winning that whole time when he was sitting out and couldn't do much. So I just believe I'm going to go in there and be aggressive, put it on him. And, he's just not going to want to be in there. So that's, without giving anything away, we're two wrestlers with that do strike also. And so you never know how that plays out. Maybe when we both negate each other in wrestling and it becomes a stand-up war, or, maybe somebody takes each other down or whatnot. You never know in a fight, and you never know what you're going to do until you're actually in there and that opportunity arises.
Yeah. Well, switching gears, you guys have had recently an influx of fighters move over to your gym, Power MMA and Fitness. A big influx of fighters. Amongst those is the new featherweight Miles Jury, former Bellator champion Michael Chandler, Justin Lawrence, Johnny Case, Luis Saldana. What's going on? What's the secret? You guys must be doing something different over at Power MMA. Share your secrets with us, Ryan.
Yeah, we just have a great facility, number one, and great people, great coaching staff and organization. The fighters show up and they don't have to worry about what they're doing other than, I want to go for a jog or whatnot. You show up to the practices and, everything is right there for you. Everything from the team lift to cardio after sparring, sparring the practice with the pro practices. And Aaron Simpson, ex-UFC vet and couple-time All-American wrestler. He was my coach at ASU, and he's taking over that head coaching role. He's been there for a couple of years now, and he's great. And he has that passion, and he wants to see those guys succeed, and he'll take those guys every day and do one-on-ones with them as far as he'll put on all the gear. Basically, let those guys beat the crap out of them, so he's great. And I don't think a lot of the guys have that in the MMA game. They have their boxing coach or their jiu-jitsu coach or whatnot, but they don't have anybody that really, encompasses it all, organizes it all, and really has that passion and wants to see succeed. So I think that people see that, when they came over, and it's great having those guys. It was a great group of guys, and, we're only going to keep getting better and growing it.
Yeah, I mean, they all left from Alliance, and you actually used to train at Alliance MMA. Based on your conversation with Miles and the guys, why is everybody leaving Alliance? I know they lost their grappling coach, Neil Melanson, but, it just seems weird. 5 guys all leaving one gym, all going to the other gym. What's the deal there?
Yeah, I have no idea. I never got into that whole deal. I never asked them. They were just looking for a place, and we said, hey, come try it out. And they came, tried it out, liked it a lot, and then, here we are. And so, that'll compound too, once people start talking and say, hey, this gym is where it's at. It's like I said, going through that whole thing, great facility, great coaches. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. It's hot now, but it's great, September through May, great weather, so I think people will just start talking, and then we'll just keep on growing this thing and get more and more top-level guys. And so, we're just trying to build something with a great group of guys, number one. No egos. Everybody wants to get better. Everybody's competitive. So, but I never got into that whole thing why they left or anything like that.
Yeah, we have some inside reporters, and apparently it's to do with the fact that the soap was changed in the bathroom to a less popular scent. But we can't confirm or deny that at this point. Ryan, let's do a quick time out.
Get you too.
It's an important part of training, we guess. We're not fighters, so we don't know. But to wrap this whole thing up, we're going to do a submission radio tap out round. Ryan, you know what this is all about. A bunch of fun questions. You answer with the first thing that comes to mind. A bit like word association. So are you ready, my friend?
I think so.
Okay, so as we all know, Ronda Rousey has a porn parody on her created. Now, if there was a porn parody on Ryan Bader, what would the name of the movie be, and who would be playing Ryan Bader?
It would be called Masturbator.
Of course.
And it would be, let's see, maybe something like Mark Wahlberg or something.
That's not bad. Except Mark Wahlberg's like
Not
half
bad,
your
right?
height.
He
Like,
what?
He's like half your height, Mark Wahlberg.
Wear lifts maybe when he's
Yeah.
doing his thing.
Maybe-
You never know, but on the other side.
Maybe John Cena.
Oh yeah, the other side's of it. Yeah.
All right. You could, if you've seen Trainwreck, John Cena, he's a bit bigger. I was going to say Channing Tatum. I mean, you guys look, somewhat similar.
Oh,
similar
there you
height,
go,
similar
right.
build.
Compliment from
See?
Casper.
There you go.
To
There
Ryan
you go.
Bader.
Maybe,
When
like
I-
a Brad Pitt, something. I don't know.
Let's not get too crazy, Ryan. All right, we'll leave it at Channing Tatum.
Oh, man.
Now, next question: did Miles Jury have to go through any hazing when joining Power MMA and Fitness by you or CB?
No, like I said, there's no egos at the gym, so we welcomed them, and they're great guys. So, if they came with bad attitudes or something, maybe we'd get on them. But all of those guys, honestly, are great dudes. So they meshed right away, and we're going to do big things with them.
Now, you did a seminar with the Marines. Did you teach them any deadly death chops or death touches?
Ooh, maybe a couple, but a few elbows and all that, but no little inch punch or anything like that. You don't want to get those guys thinking that something works and they actually think it's serious and do try it out in the field or something. And then you end up responsible for that. That'd be pretty terrible.
Yeah, it's like I don't want any Marines going out to war that have done Steven Seagal seminars. The guys running at him with a knife and they're trying to touch him on the neck or something to see if they can give him a death touch.
There's no actors in war. Now, what's up with these Arizona Scorpions with baby scorpions on their back, Beta?
Oh yeah, so I was moving a piece of furniture outside. There's scorpions here. Not gonna lie, you go out in your backyard, you have like a little black light. You can go out there and find them on your wall, whatnot.
Jesus.
And you can just, squish them or what, because they'll come in and say if there's a space like a credit card can fit into, they can get into also. So they'll come into the house, whatever. And so I was moving a piece of furniture. I actually touched it a little bit, and it fell off. And I looked at it, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And then I realized there was babies and all that on its back.
Oh, my
And
God.
so if something like that, you can't squish it because all the babies will run off. And so I have a little kind of blowtorch thing that like plumbers would use. I specifically bought for scorpions and fired that thing up and toasted it up a little bit.
How'd it taste?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was crispy because I kind of made sure it was definitely all the babies and everything were gone. But yeah, it was pretty nasty. And then pretty much all that night I was just itching, thinking about how many more of those are around. So literally you can go out in the backyard and probably get at least 5. Every other night.
Sell the house. You don't need to be there anymore. It's too many bad memories.
I always
everywhere though.
I always worry when I do that like the scorpions know, like that they know that I killed a whole batch of them, and they're gonna find me while I'm asleep and like take care of me.
They're like this motherfucker burned down.
Yeah, exactly.
He killed John and the
mom
kid.
and babies.
Yeah.
The mom was take her babies over across the way.
He
I know,
killed
that's one
Ray
thing,
Ray.
though. I don't care. I don't care. I'll straight up say that I burned them all alive. The scorpions, if you saw that thing was nasty.
Well, hopefully the Scorpions are listening to the show, so they'll know not to mess with you.
Yeah,
They just unfollowed me on Twitter.
Yeah.
and subscribe to us on YouTube. This is a great crossover. Speaking of babies, how are your kids going, Ryan? What's been going on with them? Give us some updates.
Yeah, they're all good. We have 3 and a 3.5, so it's crazy. With a boy and then a girl that's 11 months to the day younger, and then 11-month-old. So it's wham, bam, bam. But they're all good. They're the older ones are starting to get involved in different things, and I'll take the older one to the gym, getting them in a little wrestling practice, and kind of getting to the age where they're getting more fun and wanting to come out and do stuff. So everything's good on that aspect and in life in general. So I'm just that side is all handled. So I have to handle the other side, which is Rashad, and then getting my title shot and winning that belt. So the other side's on me, and I'm working towards that.
When can we expect them to have their first UFC fight? Will it be this summer, or do we have to wait? And could they be a contender for Ronda Rousey?
Honestly, yeah, the girl's the toughest one. You know, she's the middle child in between two boys, and she's definitely the meanest one. She brings it up in a level. You know, if the boy goes and picks on her, like, you know, pinches her or something, she'll go literally try to claw his eyes out. You know, he has blood coming out of his face sometimes, so we have to, you know, obviously stop that. But she's the one to, you know, if you come with your fist, she'll bring it back, kind of deal.
She's been watching Husma Paul Harris at World Series of Fighting 22.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's awesome. Well, what a perfect segue. You mentioned Rashad Evans. He's the one thing that you're, you know, thinking about now. How do you? I know you're not a fan of predictions, but we have to ask. What's the official prediction? How do you plan on beating Rashad Evans at UFC 192?
You know, I don't know what it's going to be, but you know, I look to go out there and finish him, and you know, earn my shot. So, you know, I'm gonna call a finish. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I'm gonna make it happen.
Well, there you guys go. Watch Ryan Bader fight Rashad at UFC 192 October 3rd in the US and 4th in Australia. Follow him on Twitter at Ryan Bader. Thank you very much for your time, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon.